You don't know enough about the ancient Native Americans that lived in the United States? Let's fix that. All right, the first time period we're going to talk about is called the Paleo Indians. These guys came in around 10,000 BCE and lasted till around 8,000 BCE. This first group came across from Asia and Russia across the Beringia land bridge. Basically, all the water around that area froze up, made a nice long land bridge from Russia to America. These guys wandered across, ended up in North America, and spent their time hunting and gathering for food. It was too cold, it was an ice age, no need to build shelter, just chase down the food you got, use its fur to stay warm. Up next, we're moving to the Archaic Indians. These guys range from about 8,000 BCE to about 1,000 BCE. They're the direct descendants of the Paleo Indians. They have very similar housing to the Paleo Indians in the fact that they move around a lot, but they do start to form base camps. And these base camps are generally houses or settlements made out of wood that's been covered in the animal skin from the animals they hunt. Speaking of hunting, the number one most tracked down animal for this group of Native Americans is the white-tailed deer. They were everywhere across the continent, so that's what they could find. They used the atl to hunt them down and catch them. The atl is basically using a stick to throw another stick. They also used this time period where they got more food, more energy to start developing stone tools and using that stone tools to help carve basic stone pottery. Eventually, though, they learned to use clay and fire and make stone pottery. They kept going with that through their hunter-gathering lifestyle until we get to the next time period. All right, up next we've got the Woodland. They ran from about 1,000 BC all the way down to 1,000 CE. Now these guys are a little bit more advanced than our last ones. They've still developing pottery. They have now moved into semi-permanent homes because they've discovered horticulture. This means that they can garden, they grow things, sunflower, maygrass, goosefoot, whatever those things are. But some things have changed because of this. So pottery is becoming more and more prevalent because of the settled lifetime, so that now they're starting to make pottery because it's great for storing the food that they're growing. It's also great for cooking the food that they're growing. But their tools have kind of increased too. They're still hunting and gathering. They're still searching around for things that they can't necessarily grow on their own. But this leads to the semi-permanent nature of their life. If animals are nearby, they can hunt them. That's great. But when those animals run out, they don't go to Walmart. They have to find them. So the semi-permanent nature of the homes allows them to go and find food somewhere else. One of the ways that they continue to help with this hunting is they've started to develop sinkers. They use shells as sinkers on fishing lines to catch fish. They've also started to develop the bow and arrow to help hunt down the animals that they do find. Culturally, they start to change as well because this semi-permanent nature means they stay in a place for a while. Well, when people stay in one place for a while, sometimes people die. They've started changing their culture a little bit. They have burial mounds that honor their dead in certain ways. We're going to see what happens next with all right, our third major time period is the Mississippian, and it's going to run from about 1,000 CE to 1650 CE. This area is a little bit different. This time period runs differently because we've moved from nomadic, semi-permanent villages to more permanent villages. We've started growing corn as the major crop. Corn takes a while to grow, so people don't want to leave it. It takes a lot of effort, takes a long time to grow, so people stay put with it. This leads to the introduction and the growth of agriculture as a main crop staple, because if you're going to spend all that time growing corn, you might as well grow other stuff. So hunting does still stay important, but it's not an end-all, be-all cause. Populations start to increase. More food, more homes, more babies, more population. Cultures kind of change. We start to see a development of many different cultures in Native American society. We start seeing some tribes that are run by chieftains. There's one guy in charge who dictates how things are going to go. We start to see different ones that are run by priesthoods almost, that have religious leaders who pray and find guidance and send people to do the bidding. And then we have other groups that run by consensus, not like voting quite say, but that if the town agreed to an action, they would make that action happen. We also see their decorations and their cultures. They fancifulness start to change a little bit. They start using more feathers that they find, more shells and pottery and natural objects to make their cultures more vibrant and stand out. All right, we've reached our last major Native American time period. We're looking at the modern period from 1650 CE to now. Now I know what you're gonna say, but didn't Europeans land here before 1650? Yes, but it takes a little while for those impacts to be felt. But this time period did feel that impact. Diseases, warfare, and movement away from their homelands threatened Native American life all throughout the United States, or what's gonna become the United States. But life didn't stop there. Some groups decided to get together and fight back. They joined with other Native American groups like the Catawba or the Lumbee, and they continue to survive till today. We still have a strong and vibrant Native American field in the United States. You can see that in North Carolina alone with the fact that there's over 80,000 Native Americans identified in North Carolina. So they're still here, they're still kicking, and they deserve our respect. Alright, just a reminder, if you learned anything, if you felt like this was valuable, if it taught you a single thing, please like and then click the subscribe button, because we're going to keep adding stuff, hopefully as often as I can. As you can tell, I am a real teacher, and that means that I have really limited time. So, please like and subscribe.